Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin, and today I have a very special topic for you. Something that's a little bit unusual and you silver stackers will really like. This thing barely fits on your TV screen. This is a large piece of silver known as a grease bar. And before we get going, I got to tell you this: neither of the items in this video are going to be available for sale. I'm going to destroy that, so I better just get it out of the way now. Not that I can't print another one. You can just see the pore lines on these guys, how they were made. You can just imagine the silver being poured into this and just slowly leaving that ripple effect. It's got like an acid burn or something here on the back. A little bit of impurity. It actually looks a whole lot like North America, actually, going down to the Panama Canal. So this guy here, there's big history on these guys, these grease bars. I had seen them in the past. I didn't know what they were, and I'm so thankful now that the study and history of these is becoming a lot more well known. Thanks in large part to citizens who are taking the time to put stuff together. Silveringots.com. This website is fantastic. Thank you to the creator here. This look at these things, man. This is so cool. He is Ken Conaway is the gentleman's name, but silveringots.com, and he's got a whole lot of history on these things, and it's super cool. And we're going to go ahead and just look real quick at the San Francisco. You can see all the different stuff that he's got listed here. He's got a ton of types, and then these guys here, U.S. Assay Office of San Francisco. So these guys, you know, he indicates some of the differences. Some of the earliest ones had, of course, the U.S. Assay Office symbol. Now, the San Francisco Mint itself was actually turned into the U.S. Assay Office. And so this one actually was serial numbered. And eventually they got, this one was serial numbered, or this one had the weight on it and the fineness. Now, this bar is probably a little later. It just has the fineness, and they just wrote the weight in a grease pen, which is where they got the name from, grease bar. These were actually a direct result of these. Your silver certificates, as they were turned in to the treasury, they would get redeemed in silver. And so he has a picture, of course, on his website of the letter that you'd get from turning them in. Now, I have seen lots of times the silver shot, which is something that I think a lot of coin dealers have probably seen over the years. Little bags of silver, which is usually if people just turn in a few of these guys, you got little bags of silver. But these big bars are a lot more scarce. Maybe unseen is the right word for it. And I want to show you guys something else that's very interesting to me. And that is this earlier U.S. Assay Office silver bar with a weight on it, hand stamped. Like the fact that the stamps aren't even the same size, right? It's like when a little kid writes, and his numbers are all different sizes. 5.73 ounces. That is a cool look at the this same San Francisco mark on there. You can imagine this is what the mark would have been on this piece here, because you saw the picture of the one he had and it had the mark on there. Now this actually, if you look at it, looks like it had a stamp right there. You know, you can actually see the oval circle. See the oval circle here? Now look at this. You got like the oval. See the indentation coming around here? And you can see it kind of where the E and fine is and the 5 is. You can see a little bit of like the reading look right there by the E. So it's interesting because I wonder if they didn't start to stamp this or something and then decide to stamp it differently. What's cool about these bars is there are dozens of types. and his website has them all by type, which is really cool. It's a website worth checking out. And as long as we're talking about this a little bit, I also want to point out to you just the value that I find in catalogs. Now, he mentions catalogs, and for those of you who aren't familiar with the John J. Ford Jr. collection, there was a bunch of auctions in like 06, 07, 08. He had, I believe, 21 different auctions put on by Stacks. And this one is simply Western Assayers ingots. And, it's so cool to go through. There's history on these guys, and, you get to see all kinds of stuff that you would never see. And what a fun area of collecting. And I still think that in general, this area of collecting is something that's going to take off someday, or maybe it's in the process. Maybe we're just seeing the beginning of this market. A lot of that stuff is very difficult to find and locate. Also, I recommend in general having auction catalogs as a part of your collection, especially on specific topics. Now, you got to be careful because you don't want to get too many auction catalogs because you got to find a place for them. So here's cool. Check this out. They also made them at the Denver Mint. I've never seen one of those before in an auction or anywhere else. But the silver market has definitely turned into a place where these different types of silver bars are very collectible, and we've seen that. I know a lot of you guys want to know the values on these. The bigger bar trades similar to silver. It trades a little bit over the silver market price because it's so heavy. These bad boys trade for thousands. I've seen more recent auctions where a piece like this traded for, well, I don't say recent, but about $4,000. But it is the type of thing that in today's market, maybe it's worth a lot more than that. But they keep going up in price. And for this very serious collector, this type of stuff is extremely difficult to locate and very, very fun. And talk about a deep, rich history that connects to coin collecting but is not coin collecting. So anyway, guys, let me know if you've ever seen any of these out in the wild, and if you own any size, any type. Thanks for watching. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.